as a leader, I've talked to you a lot about how to manage creative minds and designers in particular. And in the beginning, I was really cognizant of like not over managing you, because I know that like you can't be creative at like 8:05 a.m. every day, right? And we don't expect that from you. But like, in your opinion, how should leaders manage designers, video production folks, et cetera? Like how do you manage that role? And I'm still learning, right? We're learning together, and I ask your opinion. So like, for other folks out there, like, let's have a real conversation. Like, how does that work? Are you creative all day? Are you creative like at a certain time of day? And how do we manage creative folks?
Yeah. I do agree that like there are certain times of day, and maybe 8:05 every day isn't the time to like work on like a huge website redesign. So usually like starting with some like smaller, quicker things that need to get out the door, and then like, oh, I'm awake, the coffee's kicked in, I'm ready to like begin this big task that might take like a couple hours. I think as a leader, I feel like not just you, but the whole Lauer team is like very good at like, communicating what the client's looking for. If I haven't had a chance to speak with them, I feel like, you guys kind of remind me, hey, there's other business, we got to keep it moving. Because I feel like as a creative person, it's very easy to get lost in those details, and like kind of what you said, I think you might have said it earlier about how like you have to get 80% of the way there. And I think we've gotten to that point where it's like very easy to send something off and have it not be like perfect. But I think especially like within like my first year or so at Lauer Media, that was something where I was like, oh man, it needs to be the best thing they've ever seen or else I've failed. Right. Whereas like now I think we have a pretty good order of operations, and that's from like the team that we have and like the working relationships we have with the clients even. Yeah,
and I'm not afraid to say that, right? Like it's like Getmo, good enough to move on.
Yeah.
Right? We spend so much time, so getting from 80% to 100% could take us twice as long as it took us to get from 0% to 80%.
And that's usually how it goes.
And then the client might not like it anyway.
Yep.
Right. So as a leader, I don't micromanage you or any of our designers by any means. Right. But I do have to say to us, like, let's get their feedback now. It's at the point where we can now get their feedback, and they'll tell us what we need to do to get it to 100%. Right.